You have to freeze your brain immediately to do this.
If you classify this race as a race, you're gonna feel right off the bat. It's an adventure.
Welcome to Alaska. This is it, the frontier of extreme racing, where I've come to challenge myself. I'm Chris Kostman from LA, California. I'm doing the first Iditarod extreme race, 320 miles by mountain bike, snowshoe, and cross-country ski across the Alaska Range. This race is like the famous Iditarod sled dog race, but without the dogs. No dogs allowed. Human-powered only. I'm the only one combining biking and snowshoeing. That's my strategy.
Yeah, it's going to surprise you all the time. So you're going to get into some of the gnarliest uphill and downhill, the Happy River Gorge, the steps.
Only 15 of us are going to attempt this extreme race, and no one's sure how long it will take.
Which, by the way, isn't the top of the pass.
Some think 40 hours, others think a week. My goal is to do it in 3 days. I sure hope the weather cooperates.
There is no trail as we speak from Rainy Pass down through the Dalzell Gorge to Roan.
Everyone here is a serious athlete with his own reasons for doing this. For me, it's about the journey, pushing my limits.
On Rainy Pass, too.
I've been training full-time, but this is still bigger than anything I've tried before. The main rule is we have to carry our own gear and food for the entire 320 miles. The course follows the famous Iditarod Trail across Alaska. Competing in any extreme race means coming up with the right strategy, but it's also about dealing with adversity, because in the wilderness, you're never really in control. I think I've got the ultimate plan going. I'm going to bike 125 miles, as light as I can be, minimal gear, and get to Finger Lake, which is this side of the Alaska Range. When I get there, I'm going to get rid of my bike. I'm going to go on foot with my snowshoes up and over the Alaska Range for about 65 to 90 miles, depending on which route we take. And then when I get to the interior, I'll have another bike. And it'll be sitting there waiting for me. And I'll bike from there to McGrath.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Prepare to begin!
Right from the start, my plan hit a snag.
I don't know how close Kostman is to being ready.
You know, I shipped my own bike out to Roan for on the other side of the Alaska Range. And I'm using a borrowed bike to get from here to the start of the Alaska Range, but the borrowed bike isn't here.
Kostman will catch up.
What an auspicious way to start.
On your mark, get set, go!
Finally, my bike arrives.
We don't know. It's apparently soft because it's so warm out.
The trail's so mushy, some of the guys ahead of me decide to take the road instead.
See up the trail.
I left 8 minutes behind, but now that I'm going, I'm catching up. But soon the road ends and it's into the great Alaskan wilderness. I got hooked on racing when I was 15, and ever since I've loved the challenge. I broke the San Francisco to LA world record 3 times. I did the 3,100-mile race across America and even the triple Ironman triathlon in France. In 1988, I did my first Alaska mountain bike race. But this is my toughest race yet. The first day brought problems I didn't expect. Warm weather and a soft trail. I pushed hard and rode late into the night.
Made it! Man, I can't believe those guys got here 2 hours ago. They obviously know something I don't know.
Already, veteran bike racer John Stamstad is in the lead. This first stop is mandatory, so we can troubleshoot any problems. Tomorrow, the competition intensifies. From here on, if you don't want to sleep, you don't have to. But tonight, I'm taking advantage of every comfort I can.
You want to see Mushy? I have photos of my girlfriend with me. But that's not everything. She FedExed me one of these little microchip message things with a message on it just for me. So I may be out here in the wilderness for a week and not able to talk to her, but I can just push this little button.
Hi, Chris, darling.
And listen to her voice.
I love you and I miss you, and I'll be thinking about you every step of the way. Can't wait to see you.
That keeps me warm.
Woke up to it raining this morning, which is not a good sound.
If it softens the snow, I'll be pushing my bike all day.
You're gonna climb a couple hills. You're gonna go across some swamps. You're gonna see a very large sign that says Nome, 1,049 miles.
See you later.
Racer in!
I'm in 8th place right now, and I really want to get going.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Chris Kosman's out.
All right.
Good luck, Chris.
See you guys. Thank you.
There's nothing cooler than mountain biking on snow. I'm having a blast, and so are the others. We're following trails that have been used since the late 1800s when miners rode bikes to search for gold. Many could travel faster than dog teams. And what they lacked on the uphills, they made up for on the down. But Mother Nature is still the big dog. She's relentless. On the second day, a heavy wet snow is falling. I'm soaking and freezing, so I've got to keep moving, but it's too slushy for me to ride.
Can't push my bike all the way to McGrath. I gotta be able to ride about 2/3 of it, or it's just not doable. Gotta be something hard here besides my head.
Anywhere but here, I'd welcome the sight of the sun, but now it's causing one more problem. Post-holing. You break through the crust of the snow and twist your knees and ankles. I ended up pushing and post-holing for 5 hours. Thankfully, the temperature finally drops and the snow hardens.
Well, I'm getting to ride after all. It's my lucky day.
There's probably 10 people ahead of me. I've got to make up time.
So I'm just gonna eat, mix up some stuff for the trail, and take off. Get to squinting on tonight, and then I'll sleep.
What I've learned about endurance racing is you have to be able to push through the pain, deal with what's in front of you, and just keep going. It's day 3. I'm in 9th place, and 2 racers have dropped out.
Across to where we go now.
Now it's on to the next leg, once we figure out which trail to take.
You go out my trail, you'll get on one road.
Right.
And that road kind of curves around the end of the runway and you'll hit another road.
I decided to take the advice of one of the locals.
Thank you much.
Hey.
We'll see you another year. All right. See if this sled works.
I hope today will be easier. As part of my plan, I'm pulling my survival gear behind me. But it wasn't long before reality set in like a sledgehammer. This is like riding on corrugated steel. It takes me most of the day to cover 12 miles, and there's still 24 miles to the next checkpoint. By nightfall, I've been battling the wind and snow for 14 hours. I'm tired, I'm wet, I'm freezing cold, and I can't think straight anymore. That's maybe the worst thing. I flash back to 4 years ago, during my first 100-mile snowshoe race. I ran out of food and water. I could hear the wolves howling. It was as close to death as I've ever come. And now, here I am, lost.
Missed the turn to this checkpoint. I ended up on the wrong side of the lake.
The cold has been creeping up my arms and legs, and I can't even feel my hands and feet anymore. One more hour out there would have pushed me past my limit. To where? I'm not even sure. Day 4. I thought I'd be done by now, but I'm barely halfway. It snowed all night, and now it's turning warm again. Soft and slow trail ahead.
We've been snowing and blowing, and there's no broke trail up on the valley floor until somebody goes up there and breaks it.
That doesn't sound.
They turned
There's
around
no
and
trail, and no one has been over Rainy Pass the whole year. So that's all unbroken, untracked snow going down the Dalzell Gorge.
The thing about this race is that every checkpoint could be the finish line, because either we're not physically capable of continuing, or there's no more trail.
I'm still in 9th place, while Stamstad is sharing the lead with 2 others.
Catch those bikers.
It's time for the big push. Today, as planned, I'm on foot. The route from here to Rainy Pass is one of the toughest sections of the race, through Happy Canyon. We'll see how happy I am climbing out the other side. Up and down for miles. The pain of the last 3 days can't compare to this. Braking with my feet on the downhill, I can't stop the sled from banging into my heels and ankles. After a few hours of this medieval torture, I'm wondering if I'm doing permanent damage.
Oh, it's like it never ends. This is only halfway.
I made it to Rainy Pass Lodge, barely walking.
God, it's kind of mind-numbing and feet pulverizing. That's the real problem, is my feet.
When I woke the next morning, I knew I wasn't going anywhere. Somewhere in not-so-happy Canyon, I'd torn my Achilles tendon. After 4 days, the race was over for me. I hated having to drop out. It wasn't easy watching John and the others go on ahead. He would push on for 39 non-stop hours over the last leg of the race, winning in a time of 5 days, 5 hours, and 30 minutes.
Oh, it feels awesome to finally get here. Seems like it's taken forever.
There might have been a better strategy, but I didn't have it. Who knew what the Alaskan wilderness would throw at us? But sometimes, it's the setbacks that make you see how far you've come. I'm not sure what the next challenge will be. but I'll be there.